So Sandra and I are traveling through Connecticut and Massachusetts, and we decided to stop at the Elizabeth Park Rose Garden. Actually, Elizabeth Park is a public park. It's much larger than the Rose Garden, but because it's early June and they're about to have their Rose Weekend, I thought we'd stop here before they're mobbed with folks. And plus they're gonna get rain, so some of these flowers you're not gonna be able to see, but I'm just gonna give you a little tour throughout. We tried to wrangle the head gardener here, but he is so busy with everything else, and he's a little shy, so he doesn't necessarily want to be on camera. But we'll give you a really lovely tour to see this space. And the fact that it's opened to the public is really nice. And I'm sorry you're not going to be able to smell some of these roses, but I'll try to describe them along the way. So here we are at some of the archways. We're a little early for some of the ramblers to be blooming here. So mid-June is typically when the ramblers are in bloom. You'll see this one is just starting. And I think we'll do a quick overview of the Rose Garden because I see that there's so much more to this park. And Mark was sharing that they have this beautiful perennial garden, which I definitely want to go and see. And they even have an old rose garden and a rock garden in the back. So we have to kind of get a move on, so we're not going to see the whole thing, but at least this will give you a bit of an overview. This one's very bright. It's called Over the Moon. Relatively new one. And then look at this white one. Let's see if we can find the variety. The Polar Express. Let's check out this like cream caramel colored one. This one is Julia Child. It's a Floribunda. I recognize this because I had seen this one also at White Flower Farm. Cinco de Mayo is actually one that I had bought for one of my gardens because I liked how it changed color. And a lot of roses do. I mean, sometimes they go from white to cream to pink, but look at how bright this is. And then it goes like kind of this corally pink, and then it fades into a bit more pastel-y color, and then it turns purple. This may be a little bit too bright for the garden that I have it in though, now that I see, because I have a small one. And a lot of the roses have yet to start blooming. In fact, they might bloom while I'm gone, while I'm here. I love these pastel-y kind of apricot color ones. This is called this is a Cordis Rose, and this is called Fairy Tale. Kind of that champagne, peachy apricot color. Let's check out this lavender colored one. This one's Plum Perfect. So this is a rose that I have actually planted at Flock. And I was really attracted to a lot of the lilac plum colored ones. So I think this is the right kind of selection for our little rose garden that we've planted next to the meadow house. This one's quite exquisite too. Very frilly. Looks like it would be a good cut flower as well because they have a lot of straight stems. Let's see if we can find a name for it. This is called Dark Desire Parfuma. Cherry Frost. I don't even know does that translate on camera, how bright that is?
Yeah, I don't think you could really capture these colors.
This is really intense. Let's check out some of the ramblers and the climbers on this pillar over here. This looks also like plum perfect, doesn't it? Yeah, this is also plum perfect. It's nice as a kind of trial garden. You could see what colors and shades that you like the best. Here we go. This one growing up here is pretty spectacular. It's kind of a shame that we're a little bit too early for these. Shrub Roses, this one's called Thrive. It's a nice red. And then this one's called Canyon Road. Right here. Caramella Fairy Tale, which is a nice kind of caramel apricot shade. What's pretty cool is we did a tour with Lee, who's in our area in the Finger Lakes, of Der Rosemeister Nursery. And I spoke with Mark, who is one of the gardeners here. He's the director of gardening here. And he shared with us that Lee has a number of roses here that he's traded with him. And he's actually gone to see Lee as well. So it's really nice to see that the rose community is pretty tight. So here are some of the ramblers and climbers up here that are in bloom. And I guess this is going to be a popular place where you have a lot of wedding photography. This one's called Party Hardy. Oh my gosh, look at this little, his leg is pulled off. He's like dead. Little jump spider. So this is the Heritage Rose Garden, and this is some of the older roses. So these are the ones that are really known for their fragrance. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to communicate that fragrance to you in here, but you'll see they're kind of big and flouncy, very beautiful, and full of scent. Sometimes that old rose scent. Yeah, these are very perfumey. That's like rose perfume right there.
Yeah, it's almost unreal.
Yeah. And you could see that a number of these, this has like a, the stamens and the anthers right here so that they could get all the pollen, beautiful pollen for the pollinators. These are probably some of the more species roses. Mark had shared with us that this is a natural occurring rose that has like double petals, which is really interesting. And it gets giant hips. You can actually see some of the rose hips starting. And this is, they call it like the chestnut hips here, because it looks like a little chestnut. So one of their newest gardens is actually a perennial garden, which I'm excited to see. I like roses, but I love the perennial herbaceous plants. And I had a little sneak peek as to what they look like. By the way, this is one of the weeping blue cedars, which there's two of them here. You can see that they're trained up on these posts. It's such an incredible entrance. I love the color, that verdigris color too. So if we go through here, you could see that there's a mix. And Mark was saying that it's about 50% natives and 50% non-natives. So you'll see you have some of these Amsonias right here. They're not quite in bloom, but these will get a nice yellow leaf during the fall. So it really has a nice blue tiny flower. Should be flowering pretty soon. We have some of these nepetas right here, these catmints. I'm not sure what cultivar this is. You have some dahlias right there, the dark leaf varieties with the red colors. Achillea is just starting to come into bloom, which is really beautiful. This looks like a monarda that's coming in. This is a verbascum, which I tend to really love these. I think they look so great in the garden. This might be wedding candles or maybe some other variety. And this is such an incredible ground cover. You could see it has this nice kind of acid yellow color to the flower and some pops of color here. I really love the Sun King Aralia. So that's right there, the Aralia cordata in the back. And then you have this Simicifuga, which is now called Actia racemosa in the front. So this is a dark leaf variety. So I think it's probably a cultivar like Chocoholic or something of that nature, but I really like the dark purple leaves next to that Aralia, and they are both plants that love to be in the shade. So you could plant quite a bit of plants in a shady garden. Here we have some irises. This looks like Achillea moonshine. So it has that flat top umbelliferous type of flower. It's not like an umbelliferous flower like a carrot, but irises are beautiful. And we have some purple over here. You know, I think I saw some phlomis, which is I'll show it to you in the back. Veronica spicata, which is just starting to come in. This looks like a nice pinkish lavender color. Here are some more Amsonias that are coming in. Very vigorous plant. They're peonies. You can see her right there. This looks like a rattlesnake master that's coming in. Very statuesque plant, very architectural. The licrums are right there, so that's like a meadow rue, and you could see that they have this really dainty leaf. It almost looks like a maidenhair fern leaf to me, and it has this nice kind of flower that has all these fringes on. I think that's a really nice form. Penstemon, there's a lot of dark-leaved penstemon, so I can't remember. There's so many dark-leaved penstemon varieties. This is a digitalis, so you can see a foxglove here. This is like a peachy apricot color. Yes, and then this is phlomis. This is actually a plant that I've just started to plant in the meadow house gardens. It's a nice cottage garden plant, as well as this one, which is Nautia, Knautia, Macedonia. I love that color, that kind of purplish red color. I thought that would look really good in the garden. And this is a nice reseeder as well. So it's nice to see these in bloom because I feel like this color palette is really working for me, and I chose some of these same plants in the meadow house as well. Let's check out what's on this side. It looks like maybe more of the same. This is the Gauras, whirling butterflies. I mean, we don't see many pollinators on this today because there hasn't been any sun, unfortunately, because of the wildfires. They're kind of really blocking out the sun in the sky, unfortunately. But I think if the sun was fully out, these would be climbing in bumblebees. And then this, I think, is Echinacea pallida hula dancer. So Echinacea pallida has soft pink petals like this, but the hula dancer really fades into white really quickly. And I planted some of that in the meadow house gardens, and I really love that one. And of course you have your milkweed here. This looks like just Asclepias syriaca. And that is, as many people know, a host plant for monarch butterflies, so that's always important in a pollinator garden and a perennial garden. Stachy's Byzantina, nothing else quite like it. Lamb's ear, it has beautiful flowers, but it also responds extremely well with cutting. Some of these geraniums are great bedding plants. They will be a wonderful ground cover, tall ground cover, but they spread very nicely. And this is lichness over here. And you get ones with pink flowers, you get ones with white, and then some more nepeta. And this is a scabiosa, which I think are also great pollinator plants, and they will really bloom from like May all the way to November. They're great plants that just kind of fill in the garden spaces. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this garden, so we'll get some close-up shots for you. And this will give you a nice overview of Elizabeth Park Garden. So if you're ever passing through the area, be sure to come through. Wonderful garden, great public space. And yeah, see you in the next episode. Bye. We'll be breaking up some of our work days at Flock with short trips around the area and beyond to capture more amazing gardens, landscapes, and greenhouses. So stay tuned here for the updates, and remember to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next episode.